All right, so you want to take charge of your life, right? Taking charge of your life using numbers, best way to do it. Um, I believe in numbers. I always say if they're good enough to direct planes, cars, boats, your bank accounts, everything else, they're good enough to direct you. So one of the challenges that happens a lot is that people are not aware as to how they actually show up. And so once you become aware of how you show up, then it makes it a lot easier for you to choose how you're showing up and basically take charge of your life. So I like to use the numbers. I use different systems as well. A lot of what I focus on is really personality types and building avatars and having people understand who they are. The thing is that once you understand who you are, though, it's a lot easier to take charge of who that person is. When you go through life and life is pushing you around and life is telling you what to do and you got circumstances happening, you think that these circumstances are happening because your childhood situation or your kids or a mom or dad or somebody's not being right to you, the workplaces. These things are real. They do happen. But most times it is because it's something that you might not be doing or it's because something that you might be doing too much of. And so why I like the numbers, as I mentioned before in another video, is that numbers are very, very precise, right? A six personality is a six personality, always a six personality. However, they're complex as well. So it's a matter of understanding the numbers, seeing the vibrations, and seeing where they show up in your life, right? So if you learn your life path, right, which I got a video on life path, so you can learn about life path. But if you learn your life path, you learn your soul urge, right? You learn your expression. Learning the life path is going to tell you what kind of scenery you want. I like to use examples of highway, right? You want highway 6 or 7 or 15 or 10, whatever it is. And numerology doesn't go those high, but it usually goes, there's highway 1 through 9 and there's highway 11, 22, and 33. But you get the idea, right? So if you want highway 3, every person that's on highway 3 is going to see similar type of things that are happening. So the chance that you are comedic, funny, charismatic, all those things are possibly part of who you are, but you are going to see those things or chance for those things, opportunities for those things shown up in your life every single day. You understand the expression. So say you're a 7 expression. And so you're into healing, numerology, astrology. I'm 7, by the way. Healing, numerology, astrology, science, analysis of anything. Sometimes it might be any of those characteristics, usually 7. So a person that has a life path 3, but 7 expression is going to have a different type of experience. So let's use the same car analogy again. If a person is driving on highway 3 and they're driving a truck, 18-wheeler truck is a different experience as if they're driving a little small two-door car or SUV. And so your expression is how you show up, and it's also how people see you. And how people see you also has a lot to do with your natural ability. So what are your abilities, right? So my example, I'm a 7, my expression. And so things like numerology, searching for the truth, sharing wisdom, these things appeal to me. That's how I like to learn. That's how things work best for me. I know there's always something behind that. So I want to ask questions. So knowing that along with the light path expression, soul urge is another important one, because once you know what it is that your soul is looking for, then you can understand where you find contentment, right? So this is a way you can start to take back control of your life, to control your situations, because when you start to know how you show up objectively, not, with any bias, then it helps you a whole lot in being able to take charge. So I'll give you an example. I was in a relationship before, and in that relationship, she had some numbers in her chart and a different charting system that I use, but it has a line in the chart. Myself, I got a line in the chart. And that line, people typically can blow up. You know what I mean? It's called line of frustration, but people can blow up. They can get excited quickly. And so she didn't have that line, right? And so here's how you take charge. So I realized that more than not, if there was an argument, if there was a situation going on, if there was a temper flare, it probably might not have been her. So I can go back and look at the situation and objectively look at it and say, okay, was I possibly the one that's at fault for this? am I acting in a way that's accordant with these particular numbers in my chart? And 9 times out of 10, you are. And so therefore, I'm acting this way. Well, let me try to find a way to bring this argument down, or let me find a way to end this challenge that we're having right now. And I know it's probably because of my fault. Now, you can't take charge. You cannot if you are busy blaming or finding excuses of any sort for whatever reason. And you call your mom or your dad or your cousin on the phone, they're going to tell you, well, don't listen to her, don't listen to him, right? And they're good intention, but it's disempowering you, because when you take charge of your life, it means you take responsibility for everything that's happening. So if an argument is going on, person can't argue by themselves, right? So it means that possibility you are involved in some kind of way, shape, or form if you have a way to look at it. And sometimes this is how the person is expressing themselves. So if you are 6 with a person who is a 5, you express differently. That can cause challenges. So you take charge by saying, okay, I'm a 6. I know how I express myself. I know how I do things, how I learn, how I communicate. This person is different. They might do things differently. So let me be aware of some of my challenges and maybe what their challenges are, what their strengths are as well, so that you will know when to pull back, when to stop, when to move forward, and you can have a definite purpose in your life. You will know exactly what you plan to do, when you plan to do it, how you plan to get it done, and you'll be able to achieve more, do more, have more, live more, love more, and take charge of that. So hopefully this video is helpful to you. Feel free to subscribe, because I'm shooting a whole bunch of videos. This is exciting for me. I love it. I think everyone should be using numbers because they're so accurate. We use them for everything. And this is, in my opinion, one of the best ways for you to take charge of your own life. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Start to calculate your numbers and try with people around you and practice, and then see if it makes sense, and see when you become more aware of how these things play and affect into your life every single day, how you can know how to navigate. Because once you know the terrain, you know what to expect, you know who you are, how you show up, you can navigate and take charge of your life. This is Jumal with another fun video. Subscribe. Talk to you soon. Peace.